that's enough for small talk. So
Mhm.
the reason why I invite you, you know, as a guest speaker is the moment I met you, in Bila Conversation Club, you were very active and
Mm,
lively and very friendly. And also, I
mm,
really like your speaking style and then your speaking skill. So yeah, and I think that she can be one of my guest speakers. So
mhm,
since your English is, I personally think it's really good. So
mm,
can you tell me how did you learn English? Yeah, in the past.
mm. For in the past, when I was really young, when I was really a kid,
Mm-hmm.
since back then, I not the grammar part because I'm really bad at grammar and I have to learn like since I was 13, I go to English Conversation Club in person,
Mm-hmm.
which is for like middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So and also it is free for charge. So
Mm-hmm.
my parents let me go there and I can I can practice my English speaking skill every day. At the time, my accents was really fast and not appropriately announced, like
Mm-hmm.
pronounced. So and after that, year by year, I practice my English with not with movies because I don't like to watch a lot of movies. So I just take some notes or
Mm-hmm.
I just jot down. I just jot
Mm-hmm.
down some kind of like idioms or the kind of like phrases that I don't know and
Mm-hmm.
to memorize them. I just jot down and I just go to dictionary or I just go to a Google search and search the appropriate not about the really dictionary meaning because in the real world, the
Mm-hmm.
definitions are different. That's why. So I just go with the literal world,
Mm-hmm.
how we can use and how we can align and compliance with those kind of words in the real world. Yeah, that kind of.
Wow, that's something, different from learning style of other people. I don't say all people, but some people learn English, for example, from by watching a movie and
Mm,
also by using course books, right? And
mm,
so the way you learn English is, I would say, is pretty practical. So,
mm,
mm, yeah, it's I also didn't actually learn English like this. So why I would say like this is because I watch a lot of movie and then I learn English
mm,
from this. So that's why I invite people on my channel. The reason is I want to know how they learn English because I only know the way how I learn English. So if I can, you know, get information about how other people are learning English, and I will pick some of the method that is really useful and practical so that I can share tips and tricks to learn English on my YouTube channel, particularly. So yeah. So anyway, I think you've been learning English for a long time, right? Since you were young.
mm.
And let me ask you one thing. How old are you?
Now,
Yeah.
uh, now I'm 20. Yeah, I just turned 20
Yeah, so
like last May, so I'm 20 now. And so old to get into a university, but I'm here.
um but you're very confident at the age of
Mm,
20. And I
mm.
also heard the news that you have finished taking IELTS exam.
Yes, I already finished IELTS. Yeah.
Well, that would be the information for me because I'm also considering taking the IELTS exam, even though I've been
Mm,
teaching English, I you know couldn't make time for
for
that.
that.
So So I want to ask you one thing that how you prepare IELTS exam and how long
Mm,
have you spent? Because I think time is really important for preparing
yes.
IELTS exam and also English
Mm,
level. Um,
yes.
intermediate level students and advanced level or upper intermediate level students will be different. I mean, time for preparing is I think will be different. So can you please
Yeah.
share what is your English level and how long have you spent to take IELTS
For
exam?
the IELTS.
Yeah.
Yeah. For now, my English is like almost advanced C1.
Mm-hmm.
But for the IELTS exam for the last year, because I took it last year's.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, I only have 3 months to prepare for IELTS.
Yeah.
So that's why I cannot focus mostly on the writing because I'm really bad at writing. So, but but my speaking and readings are like C1 at the time in the IELTS. So I just go with like if you are too rushed for the exam, I mean like if you have to take the exam because for me, I have to take the exam for my university scholarship program, so I have to take really quickly. That's the one problem why my fluency just go down. So I didn't have enough prepare for the IELTS exam. That's why if you have enough time, you can focus on like um or four scales. If you don't have enough time, but you want a really appropriate band score, you can only focus on two area that is really good at, which you're really good at. As for me, I just focus on like reading and speaking and also listening, but not the writing. So that's why if you want to kind of like band 7 or 6.5, really a minimum or yeah, maximum if you want that kind of things, you can just prepare you can prepare those three or two areas really the most, and two are a little bit low. So low and like that will be equivalent in covering all the band score. So that's my advice. And for the listening is really quick to get a really high band score. If you do a really a practice two two practical, yeah, maybe two. For me, like I did a lot of listening text. I mean like mock text. Like listening mock text, I do 4 or 5 a day listening mock text. So, but don't worry, and the exam is really easy in the listening. But like the things is like time management and stress management. It's not all about the exam, not all about the academic. It's about the stress management too. How you handle your environment, especially when you are go with now with computer based, because I was go with like written based, so I was go with paper based. So there's a lot of people around me, so it's kind of a little bit distraught about me. So that's a problem. Why I just face my listening span score really down is like I was too I was listening the audio and then like the other people also start flipping their papers and it's distracting a lot. So that's the reason what you have to know first in your listening if you do the paper based. But for the computer based, that would be fast, I guess, for the listening. But for the speaking scale, if you do with computer based, I can say you like your speaking band score would be a little bit point five down or something because of the internet connection and the other kind of thing. Because I do in person, I got like 7.5. So they can
Wow,
they can
that's
appropriately
I
see.
have to clap for
Mhm.
you for
Mhm.
7.5.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was expect that
Mm-hmm.
because the instructor who tasked me, he just wrote down like at the time I was with my class
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a short-sighted. I
Mm-hmm.
can see with like a barn. So I'm with my class. He's writing down like part two band score is like band 9, but
Mm-hmm.
like the others are like equivalent. So
Mm-hmm.
at least I just got 7.5. I just expect 8 or 8.5.
Wow.
That's why.
That's that was really impressive. I mean, 7.5, you are that was really impressive. So, what you were suggesting is if you IS ex taking IS exam depends on your reason. I mean, whether your school is asking urgently or
Mm.
if you have time, you should take time for the
Yes.
IELTS exam, and we should more prepare. I mean, prepare specifically. But if you do not have time, just focus on which one is more important. I mean, when you spend much time on writing, because it is really difficult to get a good band score on writing, right? Even if you
Yes.
spend so much time, but if you spend this time, this amount of time on listening or reading, you can get, I mean, band school, good band school
Mhm.
easily compared to writing, and also speaking.
Yes.
Is you can also get a good band school in speaking too. So what I'm suggesting is that writing is really difficult to get good band score, and
Okay.
you have to spend much time. So that is also a good
For the
message
writing.
for those who are preparing for IELTS exam. So I think reading and listening are two skills that we can get a good band score.
Really high test score, yeah.
Yeah, compared to speaking and writing. So yeah, so it also depends on English level, right? If you have time, take time and prepare, thoroughly, or a good band score also depends on our English level.
Mhm.
If I'm intermediate level, for example, and I'm aiming band seven plus, that would be very difficult, right? To get a good band score. Thank you for sharing your IELTS journey, and also what about let me ask you, since I'm really interested in speaking skill and how you prepare or practice speaking skill, particularly for IELTS exam.
Oh, for that one, you need to have a really appropriate vocabulary book separately because it's not the same for the if you are using too much advanced word that is not appropriate with your sentence, they will not give you a bad score. So it is depends on the context they give you and depends on the context you give deliver your speech to the examiner. So you have to grab some vocabulary books for like especially for the speaking. You have to check every word. Those are really that's why not from the dictionary, just to directly go into a real world usage. That's why I just say that jot down what they are saying. Something like um I just say like icing on a cake or something. That would be a best idiom for using that way. So for this scripturally, I just go with for the part one, you can use advanced word, but not with something kind of vague explanation, which is really your word is like play and the other word is really high advanced word. Those are not appropriate. So you need to know how to go contest really fixly and like really structurally. So in the part two, started from part two, you can use really great and good advanced word like uh that's why I got band nine, I guess in band nine in the part two, because I use a lot of advanced word that I just put into my mind a lot because I just use a lot of vocabulary books for my speaking. So for the essay, for the part two, I do a lot of tips and tricks from the examiner, especially like IELTS advantage. I just watch a lot of the kind of YouTube videos.
IELTS Academy, that I also like this channel, yeah.
Mm. And also another one is IELTS Pro Tips, protips.com,
Mm-hmm.
protips.com. That's also great for the speaking and also like I think it's mostly focused on listening. I guess.
Yeah, English pro tips is particularly good for writing tasks. I think
Also,
task
yeah.
one, the
Mm-hmm.
teacher explained, I mean, very specifically and clearly. I also watched his channel, yeah.
You should because that can really boost your English skill. Not even for your really a good band score, but for your like understanding the text
Mhm.
and the structure of the IELTS. IELTS is not about the all the general things. IELTS is about the structure. If you know the structure, that would be really easy.
Yeah, go for structures, patterns, and also in speaking, there are some really nice phrases for paraphrasing or to make time if you are not sure what the teacher mean, if you're not sure about question, or if you can't generate the answer at the time, you can, make time by asking question like, that would be really interesting, or let me think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then you are just training your brain to
You're
get
just,
the answer, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
In the exam, I did like this because I have to think about the question twice. I have to think about the question twice because I feel like, oh, that's a really good question. As for me specifically, I have never thought about that kind of question before like that.
Yeah. Actually, we are just
In the part two, if
uh-huh.
you finish the part two question,
Uh-huh.
and they will ask you like an extra question based on that part two, right?
Yeah, yeah, follow up
So
question, yeah.
follow up, the kind
Yeah.
of follow up question.
Uh-huh.
If the follow-up questions are really hard and difficult
Uh-huh.
questions, your band score is from 7 to 9.
Wow. Yeah.
But the questions are really easy. If the question after finishing the part two, if your
Uh-huh.
question is like, do you like ice cream or do you like what's your hobby? If the really general one, your band score is lower than 7.
Oh, so what you are suggesting is that if I get question easier and easier, that means the examiner noticed me that my speaking is not really, enough or really good. That's why they are changing the question, from tougher to
To give
easy,
you
right? And
yeah.
uh, can I
Mm-mm.
also say that if I'm getting question more difficult question, that means they notice that my English is good enough to answer
Good.
these difficult questions. So it's all about a good band score, right? Yeah, that is really helpful and useful information for those who are, preparing for IELTS. Not just only for me. Yeah, I'm also thinking about taking IELTS, but
Yeah.
I been, flat out these days, creating contents, teaching, and I'm also opening online classes and for beginners and also intermediate level grammar,
Mm-mm.
vocabulary. So yeah, I will make time for taking the IELTS exam as well. Thank you so much for giving me time for your coming, and you had shared really useful informations about IELTS exam and also your strengths and weakness. And I believe that is really useful and helpful for my
Mm-mm.
viewers and also for me.
Mm-mm.
So I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for real.
Yeah. And I'm going to see you in the future. Have a nice day.
Mm. Have a nice day too.
Yeah.